Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
Sorry. Okay, this is how the switches are going to work. They work on a MAC addresses because this is the standard says. In OSI model, they said the layer 2, which is a data link layer, the structure should be appropriate format, that he should structure the data and add the physical address as a media access control. Correct? He will also check the error. If there is an error in your data, he will report the error back. There is a concept called as CRC check in your particular data link layer. They said switch is a device who only work with MAC addresses, who also check is there any change or is there any error in your data. He will also make sure that he should build the MAC address table. He should only send the data to the specific port where that computer is connected. Now, this is the standard. This is a complete standard for your entire layer 2 devices called as data link. Correct? Now, let's say this computer is not going for this computer B. This computer want to go for www.yahoo.com. Correct? Now this packet is generated. He will find out, oh, what is the IP address of your yahoo.com? Oh, I got the IP address. Now, how do you get the IP address of the yahoo.com? We do have a concept called as DNS. He will ping the DNS, he will find the IP address, then he will get the destination IP address, source IP address, source MAC address would be there. Now, do I need to find out destination MAC address of yahoo.com? Is it possible? I said MAC address. IP address is fine, no problem at all. Anyone can answer me? Is there any way I can find out the MAC address of yahoo.com? Yahoo.com is a website. Is there any way we can do it?
RARP?
No, RARP is only work for yahoo.com. It's not connected to your network. Am I right? Yahoo.com is not connected to the same switch. It is somewhere over the internet. Am I right? It is somewhere here.
You're right.
Correct? Then how it is going to do this? Yahoo.com is over the internet. Correct? This is available. I will find out the IP address with the help of DNS server. But my switch don't know IP address at all. Correct? Then how it is happened now? What would be the case? Remember, guys, this is very interesting. This is you are doing it day-to-day life, but you have not think what is happening behind the scene. You're accessing the website in your company. You're connected to some enterprise switch. And as I told you, the switch never understand IP address at all, as per the model, as per the blueprint. The data link said it has to work on MAC address. It does not know any kind of IP address at all. But you are able to go to yahoo.com. How? Okay. Remember that. Whenever the packet is generated for yahoo.com, you're trying to open a website, correct? The data packet would be generated through the browser. Okay. You know the destination MAC address? No. Do I know the destination IP address of yahoo.com? Yes. I got the information from my DNS server. Okay. What is the source IP address? Yes, I got that. Correct. I got destination MAC address? No. Source MAC address, I can got it. Now, whenever he actually do ARP query for yahoo.com, he will come to know that this is something not the part of my network at all, because he got the IP address, am I right? He will do the ARP query for that IP address on his table. He will come to know that this IP address is not registered on my operating system at all, because yahoo.com is connected somewhere in US. It is not the part of your network. ARP only work within your network, not across the network. Correct? Then what happened? Your computer system always take the help of the next layer called as logical link control in certain cases. In this case, now if I'm doing only A to B communication, my MAC address layer will help me. Okay, under data link, I told you data link is a combination of two layers. Okay, LLC and MAC. If I'm doing the communication within the organization with the help of switch, my MAC will help me for that. However, if I'm going outside now, because my yahoo.com is not the part of my switch now, it is not connected in my organization, it is somewhere outside. Correct? Now that time, my second layer called as logical link control of the data link will help me. Correct? What he will do, I don't know the destination MAC address, but I know the destination MAC address of the device who can help me to connect it to yahoo.com. That means maybe I do have, okay, I will take this particular cable and I may have a device called as modem or router connected over here. Am I right? Where I can connect my internet. This could be a router, this could be a modem, correct? I do have this. The port where I'm connected this modem, I do have the MAC address of this particular port. Remember that this particular switch will always register the MAC address of every device. The router do have its own MAC address. My switch know that what is the MAC address of my router or the modem, and on which physical port of the switch it is connected. Now in my second case, where I'm trying to access the network outside my boundary, my what LLC layer will do, he will by default put the MAC address of the next device where I can logically transfer my request. Means I type yahoo.com, I couldn't find out the MAC address of that particular yahoo.com in my ARP table. What my layer will do, he will put my default MAC address where I can transmit this request to my router. By default, he will take this MAC address and put it into the destination MAC address. Correct? So what happened whenever the switch got this request from yahoo.com, he will come to know that, oh, I want to send this request to this MAC address. Then he will take that request and send it to this particular port. Then he will hand over it. That means he will remove this MAC address layer. Actually, he will not practically remove, he will hide this MAC address and he will only post this IP address and send this data to the next device. Correct? So this is the function of logical link control, hiding the IP, hiding the MAC addresses and pushing the IP addresses and sending that particular request to the next device. He will come to know that he might be know about the yahoo.com. I don't know. Switch does not have the MAC address of yahoo.com. Maybe the other device know about it. Other devices is a router actually. Obviously, a router knows how to reach to yahoo.com, but switch does not, because switch does not know IP addressing. He only knows MAC addressing. So my data link standard says you have to create such a device called a switch where I can connect all the devices together, and I have to make sure that the switch has to be work on a MAC address. Correct? If I want to send the data within the switch, then I should only use the layer called as media access control. I can read the destination MAC address. I will send that request to that specific port number where that destination MAC address is connected. Now, how I will come to know that? With the help of MAC address table. Correct? If I don't have any entry of that particular destination address, then by default switch will do the broadcast and learn where that MAC address and on which physical port of that particular MAC address it is connected, and he will put the entry into MAC address table. Correct? This is the function of media access control. They said your switch has to be work in this particular way. Correct? And in data link layer, everything would be counted. The unit of counting is called as frame. We can call it as the frame is processing. I said data is processing, but it is a frame. In terms of switch, in terms of data link, it could be a frame. Correct? Whenever I'm going to outside, which is not connected to the my local area connection, or which is not connected to the switch, in that condition, the destination MAC address would be the MAC address of exit point or to other devices. Then whenever switch would be transferring this particular device, what LLC layer will do? LLC layer will create a frame, but in that particular frame, he will hide the MAC addresses and he will only promote the IP addresses of that particular data, and he will transmit that data to the next device. I don't know whether that next device is router or modem. I don't know. Then people say if it is a switch, then my switch is very intelligent. He know that he's transferring one more switch. So what he will do, he will create one more frame. He will put the MAC address of his own switch and its own port and send that frame to another switch. Okay. Whenever I'm sending one switch to another switch, then it could be a frame. But whenever I'm sending the data from the frame to another devices, I will hide the MAC address and I will promote the IP address to other devices who work on IP address. But both the devices are equal, then he do not hide the MAC address at all. He will put the one more frame where he will put his own MAC address of the switch and the port of that particular switch where it is coming from and send it to another switch. Correct? This is the function of data link layer. Is it clear? Any doubt on this? This is very, very important. If you have any doubts, please ask me, because otherwise it would be very difficult to understand. Is it clear, all of you? Kindly put the message whether if you have any doubts. Apurva is only listening. What other people are doing? Don't go for sleepy. I know that this is quite lengthy and boring because it's all contain theory. But understand this is happening behind the scene. You are actually doing it day-to-day life, but you are not feeling it. This is the function of data link layer. Remember guys, people ask you the question. Data link layer, it's a combination of MAC address that is called as media access control, and the second layer is called as logical link control. Switches and bridges, which actually comes under data link layer. Correct? The unit or the way the data is processed in layer 2 in a data link layer, it's called as frame. They are actually everything on frame.
Hey viewers, are you looking for formal training on SRE practices? Take our SRE program. This course will teach you how to successfully implement site reliability engineering in the modern day 24/7 services. Kickstart your SRE training today. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Correct? So remember that these are the pointers which they will be asking in your exam. What is a layer 2 device? It's a switch and bridges. Correct? On which address it works? It works on a MAC address. What is a MAC address? It's a physical address which is completely unique for your computer. Correct? What are the two subset of layers in a data link layer? It is a LLC and a media access control. Correct? What is ARP? ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol. We will see in an application layer as well. Okay, this protocol, but this is ARP help me to handle it. What is RARP? That is just exactly reverse address resolution protocol. Correct? So remember that this is completely working on this method. This is a theory. Remember that this OSI model is a theory. They only says, okay, this is how it needs to be happen. Practical implementation is my switch. They said, okay, whatever you said in the data link layer, this device can do the same thing. Then you can purchase any switch. It actually works the same way. You can purchase a Cisco switch. You can purchase a Juniper switch. You can purchase a D-Link switch. You can purchase a Nortel switch. Any switch manufacturing company, they actually following the same standard that it has to be work on a MAC address. MAC address table has to be like that. There has to be some layer called as LLC where he want to go outside. He should remove that particular frame of MAC and put the frame of IP address on the top and send it to the upper device. That upper device may be router, it may be modem who understand IP addressing. But if it is the same switch, then he will put another frame that, oh, you're also switch, I'm also switch, but I will tell you my MAC address because this request is coming from me. So he will put his own MAC address of the switch and send it to another switch as a frame. That time he does not remove the MAC address layer because he come to know that the other device is a frame. It's a switch. It's not a router. Correct? So this is the functionality they want to implement in the layer called as data link, and that's why this devices is implemented. Correct? The next layer is called as network. Now this is once again a very interesting layer. Now this layer actually changed the entire internet world actually. Now look at what is the definition it says. Okay, the definition is says adds a logical addressing network addresses to choose the best route. This is a function of what? Network layer. Correct? This is a function of network layer. Now the function, this function is actually built on the device called as You might doing the monitoring on this device, but router is a device. Don't worry, in CCNA you will come to know how to configure the router, correct? But this part will configure the complete your theoretical part, how the router works. Okay? Now you can see router is the device. It works on logical address. What is a logical address actually? Your logical address is nothing but your IP.
IP address.
Yes, absolutely. It's your IP address. Correct? This is why my LLC layer from the switch hide the MAC address, promote the IP address and send it to the router, because router work on layer 3 called as network layer, and network layer will work on IP addressing only. They do not work on MAC address at all. They do not understand it. Correct? In IP address, we will consider everything as a packet. Look at it. Physical, everything would be considered as bit and bytes. I'm sending that bits and bytes to switch. Everything would be considered as frames. If I'm sending the frame to router, everything would be considered as what? Packets now. Correct? Now this would be the unit if I'm dealing with the router. Now what he said, what is the definition said? And choose the best route. Now remember that this is very, very interesting. Correct? Now remember, my router helped me to find out the destination in a quickest way. Correct? Now if I say I want to go to, I will give you the same example. If I say I want to go to yahoo.com, okay. Now you know the journey till switch. Correct? Then somebody has to explain me the entire journey, how the packets are going to the internet and how they are coming back. Correct? This is yahoo.com. This is your company. Okay. I will say this is a Capgemini. Your office. Correct? You are connected with, there is a switch. Okay. This is my switch and this is my laptop. All these are connected through the cable. Okay, what type of cable we are going to see? A Cat5 cable or a UTP or STP cable. This is how it's connected. Correct? Now we know the journey till so far, no problem. Now when the packet or the frame has actually moved over here, correct? What my router will do? The router only understand what? IP address. Now MAC address is there, but it is hidden. It is not readable by a router. What router can read? Router read, okay, tell me who is my destination and who is my source. Now source is not important because I know the source IP address is from my network. So he knows that what is the destination IP address. Correct? Now the destination IP address is nothing but yahoo.com. It could be, for example, 11.22.19.10. Now this is for example. This is the IP address which is he want to reach. Correct? Your office is in Bangalore. This is in US. Now this journey I need to do it, and it is happen in quick seconds, less than seconds actually. Correct? then he should find out, the job of the router is to find out the best route to reach to this particular destination. The quickest, fastest route to quick to yahoo.com. This is the function of the router. And he will do it with the help of the concept called as route tables. Correct? We do have a MAC address tables over here into the switch. Same way, correct? Router do have a concept called as route tables or route tables, where he will come to know that what are the best possible routes available to reach to the destination. Now people ask me, sir, you are trying to go to yahoo.com. Do I need to create a route on my router for yahoo.com? No. Practically what happened? Your office do have some internet connected, correct? Your office do have internet connection. Yahoo is also connected to the same internet, correct? That means what is the common point in both of you? The common point in both of you, what is internet? What is the internet? Internet is the combination of a big multiple networks together, which is widely open. Am I right? My router will only find out what is the best and possible best route over this internet to reach to yahoo.com. That's it. Okay, I just gave you the example of internet, but there are multiple concepts which we can use in order to create the router, correct? But basic function of the router is to connect multiple networks together. That is the function of the router. Now my network of my office is completely different network. Yahoo is completely different network. But with the help of router and with the help of internet connectivity, I am able to make this communication possible. So there are two functionality in the router: to connect two different network. Okay, this is the first function, and to find out the best possible route. These are the two major functions for the router. Whenever in terms of the internet, the second would be the first appropriate. Whenever the request goes to the switch will come to know that, oh, this is not my network. The MAC address is not here. I will send that request to the router. Whenever router receive this request, he only understand, okay, what is my destination IP address? He will go to the route table. He will find out, okay, to reach this destination, is there any route is available? If there is a route is available, then router will choose that method or that particular path to send the data. If the route is not available, now in case of Yahoo, now my office is accessing thousands of websites. I cannot create a route table on my router, correct? I can create a route table between the offices. I do have thousands of Capgemini offices, and if I would like to share the data between the offices, between the clients, I can do the routing. But I do have millions of websites. Can I do the routing of those millions of websites? No. Correct? Similarly, I cannot find out the MAC address. Am I right? Similarly, if I want to go to the yahoo.com, I need to create a route for yahoo.com. Maybe that some people are accessing some Bing, some people are accessing Google. So am I supposed to create a route for all? No. Routes are only created if I would like to know the destination properly. My Bangalore office, my Pune office, my Mumbai office, my Europe office, or whatever offices available across the globe, Capgemini will do the route for those offices, because these all offices should be communicated with each other. if they want to share the resources. Then I know I need to create a route tables for that. But yahoo.com, I don't need to create that, because in my offices people are accessing thousands of websites, and if I do not find a route, my router will not go outside. Then there is a concept called as default routing, correct? That default routing help me to send this data over the internet, correct?
Hey viewers, trying to get into DevSecOps? Enroll for our DevSecOps certified professional programs and earn the certification that shows you are fit for these technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
So this is very, very important. You just need to understand for the time being the two functionality of the router: to connect two different networks and to find out the best possible route to reach to the destination. These are the two basic functions of the router. Second important point, router work on a network layer, correct? And a router only knows about IP addresses. They do not know about your MAC addresses at all. So network layer is working on IP addresses. Data link layer working on MAC addresses. Sometimes they are going to be very tricky in some questions. So be careful with these layers actually, correct? Logical layer is nothing but the IP addresses. This is working on packets. Whenever I said router, router process the packets, correct? So remember that this is physical layer is nothing but bits and bytes. Data link layer would be frames. Network layer would be packets, correct? It works on simple ones and zeros. Data link layer work on an address called as MAC address. Network layer work on IP address, correct? So currently, if someone asks you what is the difference between network layer and data link layer, you have to tell them a difference. What are the difference? It work on IP address, it work on MAC address, it work on the device called as layer 2 devices, it work on layer 3 devices. So everything should be understandable. So whenever ISO created a standard in a network layer, they said this devices has to be a standardized device. Both the functionality should be there to connect two different networks together and make the communication possible. This has to be available in this particular router, and find out the best possible route, correct? That functionality should also be available in the router, correct? There is a concept called as route tables, where a router can maintain all the records of best possible route when we are going to deal with CCNA. And in CCNA, we are talking about routing protocols. That time we will go deep dive into this route tables. But currently, likewise, the MAC addresses, MAC address table on the switch. Similarly, a router also do have a route tables on the top of the router, correct? That will help us to find out the best possible route. Now let's move to the transport layer. This is also very important, correct? Now this is something which we are going to explain it. Now this is the layer, okay? What the definition says: perform the actual establishment, maintenance, tear down of the correction, optionally divides a long combination into the smaller segment, including error recognition, correction, data receipt, acknowledgement. Now you are confused if you understand this, correct? Let me tell you a very, very simplified way to explain this, correct? What is a network layer do? After that network layer, transport layer. Actually, this layer, actual data transfer would be done by this layer. Okay, now this is to find out where is the destination. You can see router is to find out what is the best route, correct? But are they transferring the actual data? No, they are not transferring. They will help you to find out the best route. They will help you to make sure that the connection should be available, correct? MAC address is also available to find out the best route. The MAC address, where is the destination, but actual transport, actual data would be done, transport of the data would be done by the transport layer, correct? Now I will explain you with the same concept which is available. Let's say from my computer, I would like to upload some photographs on yahoo.com, or currently which is very famous is called as Instagram. Now Instagram.com is what? Instagram.com is somewhere in US, but you are uploading photograph from locally. You said browse button over here and you clicked on it and you said upload. Let's say I would like to upload 1 GB file to Instagram, for example. Correct? Now this is a file. For example, the file name is mangesh.mp. This is a file which I would like to transfer to this server. Currently, locally, that file is available locally on my machine. Correct? But I want to transfer this file to this Instagram.com now. Correct? What will happen? What is the case? The first data packet would be generated. Okay, some request would be generated from here. It will go to the switch. Switch will come to know that, look, the MAC address which you are looking for, it is not a part of my network. You should go to the router. Then LLC will hide the MAC address. Only the IP address of the Instagram and the source IP address of your computer would be transferred to the router. What router will do? He will say, you would like to go to the Instagram. Okay, I will go to the route tables and find out the best route for you to reach to the Instagram. Okay, he will go to the route table. He will come to know that, okay, such route is not available. This is a public website. I will use the default route and I will send a connection to the internet. Correct? This is agree, no problem. But who can transfer this 1 GB of data? They are just doing their job to find out the best location, how you can transfer, what is the best road to transfer the data. They have done it. But who is actually getting that data from your computer and sending it to that particular destination? That job is done by transport. That's why it is saying transport. He's actually getting that data and transporting it. The very first job of the transport layer is called as data segmentation. Remember that. What is the very first job would be data segmentation. Now, what is a data segmentation? Now, it is written over here in your example. Okay, it is saying optionally divides long communication into the smaller segments. Establishment, maintenance, tear down the connection. Now we will see everything with the help of this. Now I do have 1 GB of the file. Can I send 1 GB of the file at a one go from my source to the destination? No, it is not technically possible that 1 GB of the file with single request, it would be transferred from my local computer to my Instagram.com. It is not technically possible because we do not have such kind of capacity available at this moment. So what transport layer will do? He will divide this particular file into the smaller chunk. Okay, so dividing a big file into the smaller chunk, we will call it as segmentation. Okay, we can call it as data segmentation. So what transport layer will do, he will come to know that, oh, this is a 1 GB file, I cannot send it. What I will do, I will divide this file into the smaller chunk, and I will send this file in a smaller chunk from source to the destination. Agree? That's fine. Now people ask me, what is the size of that particular chunk? Okay, now this size is completely depend on your MTU of your NIC. Okay, NIC means your network interface card. Okay, remember that maximum transmission unit. By default, the value is 1500 MTU value. Okay, you can see okay, this is a maximum transmission unit. Correct. This is definitely the size which is completely depend on your network interface cards. Okay, you would be able to change that. You can see this is the maximum size. Okay, now there is also a size called as, it's not here, this is called as jumbo frame. I think it is going to 9000 byte. It's 9000 byte. Okay, size is not given. Okay. 9000. I can set up to 9000 bytes actually. I will tell you what is MTU first. Okay. The segmentation would be done based on MTU size. By default, MTU size is 1500 bytes. Correct. Now, what is MTU? MTU means the maximum transmission speed of your interface card. That means how much maximum your computer can transfer over the Ethernet wire at one particular second or millisecond. Correct? So that is called as 15,000 bytes. So my capacity to send data out of my network interface card is 1500 bytes. So that is a maximum capacity. So what my transport layer will do, based on my maximum capacity, he will start doing the segmentation. Correct? So what he will do, he will divide 1 GB file into 100 parts. That means he divided that 1 GB file into the 100 different segments. Remember that here the units which we are using is called as segment. Every single part do have a specific sequence number. Okay, I divided that particular 1 GB file into the 100 part. Every part do have a unique sequence number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100. Correct? So that is the way you can do that. Correct? Now remember that under transport layer, there are two protocols are running. The one is called as TCP and the second one is called as UDP. Okay, TCP stand for Transmission Control Protocol. Remember guys, this is very important. People ask you a random questions on this. UDP stand for User Datagram Protocol.
Hey viewers, our Mastery in DevOps engineering program can help you to hone the skills necessary to succeed in high-level DevOps positions. So what are you waiting for? Enroll now and earn certification that show you are keeping pace with today's technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
So my transport layer actually working on these two protocols. So let's say I divided 100 parts of my 1 GB file based on my MTU size, right? And I'm sending this all the data with TCP protocol. Now by default we are using TCP because TCP is called as a connection oriented protocol. Okay, it works on three-way handshake. Okay, this is very reliable. Data loss would not happen. Okay, it work slow actually. The functionality is slow as compared to UDP. Let's understand how the transport layer work with TCP protocol. Now what happened? Let's say I do have 100 part of this 1 GB file. Correct? What will happen before actually he will start sending the data to Instagram.com? It is going to say connection oriented. What he will do, if I start sending the data through TCP, first he will not sending the data. What he will say hello data or hello packet to Instagram.com. Say only hello, it does not contain any data. He know that 100 parts are there, 100 sequence numbers are there, but he will not send the actual data. First what he will do, he will create a connection. Okay, because it's a connection oriented. He will send a hello packet to Instagram. Then Instagram will also send reply back to your computer and saying hello. Once he receive that particular hello, then he will say, oh, this is alive. He will create a connection first by sending hello. Then what he will say, he will do the three-way handshake. This is what the three-way handshake will say. He will say hello, he will reply back, he will acknowledge, oh, I got your hello. So this is how it is going to be working. Correct? Remember that this is a connection oriented. He will three-way handshake. Now, once he will confirm that, okay, Instagram is saying me hello, that means he's alive. Let's start sending the data now. Then he will take first part of the data because this data is segmented. I cannot send 1 GB file. So he will take first sequence number. He will send the sequence number to Instagram. Once Instagram receive that particular data, then you will send the acknowledgement back to my client that I received the part 1. So he will get the acknowledgement back. Once he got the acknowledgement, he will send the next part to Instagram. He will get the acknowledgement. That means every part which he's sending, every sequence number or the sequence data he's sending, he's supposed to get the acknowledgement that whether he received it or not. Correct? This is why reliable data loss would not be happen. If any given point of time, any sequence number missed because of any connectivity problem, and he will reply it back, I couldn't get the sequence number. He will resend the data back to that particular server with the same sequence number. Correct? So TCP is more reliable, connection oriented. He will do the three-way handshake on it. Correct? It would be slower because every packet which he is receiving, he needs to wait for the acknowledgement, whether it's received or not. So it is little bit slower. Correct? On other hand, if I'm sending the data with the help of UDP, this is completely opposite. Completely means completely opposite. It is a connectionless. It's a connectionless, no three-way handshake. He only take the data and send it to the destination. Whether it's received it, whether it's not, he do not bother about it. Okay, three-way handshake is not happen, acknowledgement is not coming. He will only start sending the data to that particular destination. That's it. But it is faster because he's not waiting for anything. He's just started sending the data. He will not wait for the connection. He will not say hello or something. He will not create a connection. He will not wait for acknowledgement. He will start sending the data, whether it's received it or not to the destination. I do not need to bother about it. Correct? So these are the two different methods are available in transport layer. Correct? Now transport layer using the unit called as segments. So remember here bits and bytes, frame, packet, and now segment. Correct? So remember that these two things, okay, most of the people say physical data link network, these things which we can see, correct? Because physical means wires, network interface card, data links means switch, network means router. But where is the transport layer? Where this implementation is happened? Now this is an implementation. It is applicable in your operating system. It is implemented your network operating system, the one which we discussed, correct? So this I cannot see as a device, but this is a method which is applicable inside your applications, your operating systems, in your softwares, in your networking device operating system. It is already there. So this is a software implementation. This is a logical implementation. It would be already done. Correct? So this is called as transport layer. Actually, the transport of the data would be happen on this particular layer. Correct? Now the next is a session. Now look at what definition says about session. Establish and control the data communication between application operating and two different devices, regulating when each device can data and how much it can send it. Okay, once again we will go back to here. Now remember that every communication which has happened, there is end-to-end session should be established. Now end-to-end establishment session means what? I will give you a simple example. Correct? Someone is calling you, correct? Your phone is ringing. Until and unless you have not picked up the phone, correct? You won't be able to send or you won't be able to talk. Your voice data would not be transferred. So what exactly you guys are doing? You are actually creating a communication, or you can say you are creating a connection between two telephones. Same concept is applied over here. Okay, I need to create end-to-end session between my computer and this particular server. Correct? Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, sorry about that. So this is how it is happened. Now look in terms of networking. Now I gave you the example which is very logical, that telephone, but how it is happened and who is going to do this? Correct? Now remember that before I send this particular data to this my destination to Instagram.com, I told you that I am using TCP method, correct? Now, the moment the first hello packet, I told you that connection would be established with the hello packet, my data would not be started transferring without anything. Now, whenever I supposed to connect with hello packet, correct? That hello packet is initiated from this computer. That time, this computer will create a socket network socket file. Remember that, correct? This network socket file is very important. Now in our, if I'm using browser, we can call it as cookies. You might heard about it. The cookies is nothing but it's a socket, correct? So whenever I generate a hello packet, okay, this generation of the hello packet will generate a small cookies file. This hello would be going to my destination, and he will generate one more file on this particular server as well. Okay? He will generate a same connection file over here, correct? And he will responded everything back to for that particular hello. I said hello, he will also said hello. But while creating this hello, he created one session as well. He created end-to-end session in order to make sure that every time, because I need to send 100 data packets, not every time I need to go for every path, correct? I will create end-to-end session information on both the side, and I would directly start sending that information with the help of that session, correct? So creating a session would be done by the session layer. Now, normally this would be implemented in your application, like your browser, your operating system, whatever network-based communication application which you are using, that every application do have a capability to create end-to-end session between the source and the destination, correct? Now that will help me to send a data packet within that particular session. Otherwise, what will happen? That particular, I need to create a connection every time. You might be seeing that you're trying to log in to some email account and you make it idle for some time. You're not doing some activity. And after some time, you will come to your computer and you will try to do activity. You will get a message, your session is expired. Why? Because your computer and that particular destination server created a session. That means the socket files are created that will help you to make the communication smoothly possible, correct? Every session file do have some limit, time limit would be done. Now that time limit would be completely depend on your application. Sometime Facebook say after 1 hour, if you do not see any activity, I will say session expire. It's completely depend on your activity. So whenever your computer is sending the first hello packet, that is the moment your application also create a session files on the client side as well as on the server side as well. Remember that this is very important, and this is the job of the session layer. So what my standard says, every application who is using the internet connectivity, they should have the ability to create a session. You can check your browser, they do have an ability to create a session. Now people are taking some advantage of it, okay, because if you have the previous session, I would be able to recreate that session, because hackers are doing that. Initially we got an access of cookies file. Now normally currently we do not have the access directly through the browser, but session would be done in that way, correct? After that, there is a layer called as presentation. Now look at the definition. What would be happened over here? translate application layer data into the intermediate form that both client and server can process. Now, really, you won't understand by this definition anything at all, but I will give the example. Now, let's say this data which is transmitting, correct? This is a MP4 file, correct? Now, remember that whenever your data is transmitting over the internet, there is a concept called as data encryption. That means your data would not be transferred in a plain format. It is encrypted because it is transferring over the internet, correct? So encryption should be happening. Sometime your data can also be transferred in a compressed format. If the file is very heavy, your application also do the compression of the data, correct? Now compression, encryption, decryption, application visibility, all this functionality would be done by presentation layer. Okay, I will give you the very quick and very simple example. Let's say I do have two computers connected to the same switch. Okay, same switch. I have two computers connected to the same switch, and I am also sending this movie file from this computer to this computer. What I used to do it, I will open the computer, I will go to the Explorer or go to the run box, type the IP address of this computer, correct? I would be able to see the shared folder on this computer. I simply right click on my MP4 file, say copy, and I simply say paste. Am I right? This is what we are doing. But the moment I paste the file to my destination folder, now the transmission is happened. Now the file is started transferring. You will be able to see small window will come up who can show you, okay, the file is transmitting now, the progress bar, correct? Now that is generated by session. Okay, now remember, the moment you transfer the file from one computer to another computer will immediately come to know that this is a MP4 file. How come? This is a compressed file. That is called as data presentation. I have not completed, transferred is not completed, transfer is going on. But while going on, I will immediately come to know that you're transferring MP4 file to my computer. Now this is called as data representation, correct? Now this would be handled by presentation line. Now while transferring, encryption should be done because the data should be encrypted. That is also to be done by presentation layer. Sometimes if the file is too much heavy, some application should compress the file and send it. So that is also done by the presentation layer, correct? Now this is all facilities would be provided to support your application layer. Your application visibility or whatever application can see or whatever your application can do, that would be supported by presentation layer, correct? So this is what the presentation layer they said. In a simple case, your browser is an application layer, correct? Now your browser do have a security called as SSL TLS. You might heard about it. That is an encryption. Now that is a part of your presentation layer actually, correct? We will see in the list what are the different protocols which comes under what category deeply. Okay, now what we can see under application layer, let's go ahead. In a layer 7, enable application on a network node to request the network such as file transfer email. Now it's a simple term is whatever application which you are using, okay, where you required network connectivity, okay, all those application comes under application layer, correct? Any application where you are using networking would be considered under application layer. FTP, correct? It's a file transfer protocol. SSH is a secure shell. Telnet, it is a remote emulation tool. Your DHCP, DNS, correct? Whatever protocols which help you to bake your network connectivity would becomes under application layer, correct? So remember that application layer help me to get the data would be transferred from one layer to another, sorry, one machine to another machine. Presentation help me whatever data is transferring, whatever encryption is required, whatever data compression is required, whatever data representation I would like to show it to other machine, that would be handled by presentation layer. Session layer, that whatever application data want to transfer, before that they should data transfer, the session should be created first, correct? Transport layer will take the data and start transporting the data from one location to another location. Network layer help the transport layer to find out the best path, to find out the best route from destination to your source. Okay, this is the path you can use to transport the data, correct? Data link layer help me to send the data to the upper layer from layer 2, correct? And physical layer would be considered as a layer where my actual digital data would be started the journey into analog system, correct? Now this is all OSI reference model, which is a standard. This is a blueprint. They said this is a theoretical model how your networking should work, correct? But after some days, they are coming with a new model that is called as TCP/IP model. Now there are some difficulties in OSI reference model because every layer is dependent on each and every layer actually. So there are some complexities in order to handle this layer structure separately, correct? So what option they have done? They have converted this OSI model into TCP/IP model. This is a complete different model they have come up with, correct? Where what they have done, application, presentation, session, all these functionalities they put into the application layer itself. Whatever application which you are using, whether it's a browser, whether it's your FTP, whether it's your telnet, whether it's your SSH, whether it's your SMTP, mail, whatever you want to use the application, if that application is using the networking, then all these functionalities should be handled by the application layer itself. It should be the logic should be built in where it should be handled, correct? Transport layer is completely different. You cannot combine it because the protocols are completely different. Network would be considered as internet layer. That is the layer where he is going to find out the best route. Data link and physical layer, they have combined it together and consider as a network access layer, or this layer 2 and layer 1 would be combined. So this is the current model which we are using. But TCP/IP model actually comes from OSI reference model. Functionality wise, both are same. The only responsibility has been transferred and the name has been given. So TCP/IP model is a subset of OSI model, which is currently we are using in our market. So remember that. They might ask you what is the difference between OSI model and TCP/IP model, correct? Remember that what are the difference, you will find out that particular difference. But majority of the question they will ask you on OSI reference model. What is a basic function? Okay, what function can be done, correct? They will ask you where the bit, where the frame, where the packet, where the segment could be used, correct? So multiple ways they are going to ask you multiple questions on OSI reference model. Is that clear? Any doubts in this? Okay, this is what we have.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.